What's up, City Verse? It's your boy New York City. That is New York CIDDY. And when y'all here, don't forget to do y'all job and smash that subscribe button. Huh! Let's go.
City boy, city boy.
This is New York. This is New York. This is New York. This is New York. This is New York.
New York, New York, New York, New York.
So here we are, 48 hours after the Giants take a loss to the Washington Commanders, 21-18. I got some clarity, man. I got to sit on my thoughts, my raw emotions. I did my video the other day, but this is the post-game clarity that we needed and what gives us hope going forward with this New York Giants 2024 team. I've seen a lot of positives in this game, even though it was a lot of bad. I actually think there was a lot more positives in this game than it was negatives. It's just the end goal is the W, and when you don't get that, it makes everything seem like it wasn't worth it. But I want to start this segment off with our offense, man. We're gonna get straight into it. We had Daniel Jones, who was 16 of 28 for 178 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no INTs. I really actually I'm gonna hold that part off what I'm about to say next. We're gonna get into the rushing game. Daniel Singletary rushed 16 times for 95 yards. He had a touchdown and he averaged 5.9 per carry average as far as rushing the ball. Daniel Jones also had 5 carries to go along with that for 32 yards. No rushing touchdowns, but he was efficient in this game.
I actually meant Devin Singletary, not Daniel Singletary. I don't know why, but I've been struggling to say his name for the first 2 weeks of the season. Continue.
Malik Neighbors, he had 10 catches for 127 yards and a touchdown. Darius Slayton had 3 catches for 33, and Wandale had 2 catches for 18 yards and a touchdown to go along. Another positive that I've seen in this game, I've seen that our offensive line in the first 2 weeks they're averaging out to be the sixth best offensive line as far as pass blocking goes, and that's a really big thing for us. That's very vital. It's key. They allowed 1 sack, but we can deal with that. And the time of possession for us, we had the ball for 22 minutes and 28 seconds or whatever. But our average uh, yards per play was actually 6 yards per play, which is all really good things. Now, I want to get back into what I was saying about Daniel Jones, what I was going to touch in on. When you look at the numbers, were they flashy? No, they wasn't just the best of games by a quarterback, what people expect to see. They want to see Pat Mahomes like numbers. They want to see like Josh Allen on a good day type numbers. They want to see big numbers, and I definitely understand that. However, it goes into the time of possession, which I'm going to talk about that on the defensive side in a little bit. But the time of possession, I felt like Daniel Jones made the most of the time that he had the ball. We were able to score. He had 2 touchdowns. He was moving the ball efficiently, man. I honestly think Daniel Jones should have had maybe like 4 touchdowns. You never know what the play calling might have been, but you got to take in consideration. He came off hot going into halftime, and he scored a touchdown going into halftime. And then after we came out of halftime, we got the ball back, and he was moving the ball down the field. Unfortunately, that's when Devin Singletary had his fumble miscue, and that's where I felt like the game, the momentum actually shifted into Washington's favor. But I think he was on the way to scoring a touchdown on that drive. Also, this ain't a shot at Malik Neighbors. He balled out this game, but on that 4th down conversion that he dropped, I felt like Daniel Jones was also marching the ball down the field, and the rate that he was moving the ball, I definitely felt like we would have got a touchdown out of that. So I felt like the positives on Daniel Jones should have been better. It could have been 4 touchdowns potentially. Also, with the time of possessions, you have with that not Dallas, but you have where Washington had the ball for a certain amount of time, there's only so much you can do with the time that you have on the field. So I want to say Daniel Jones had an efficient game. What I wanted to see more so in as far as our offense goes is I would have liked to see our wide receiver 2 and 3 step up a little bit more. Yes, Malik had an efficient game, but anyway, he had 10 catches, man, and our other two receivers in Darius Slayton and Wandale. Wandale had a touchdown, but I would have liked to see more yards coming from them two guys. I would have been excited if I could have seen them get involved a little bit more. I don't know, and I'm not bashing them because maybe they were getting open, but that might just be how big of a stud Malik Neighbors is. The star power that this kid has. He had 10 catches for 127 yards and a tutty. So, like, you can't really not get him the ball if he gets open. Obviously, you see what he can do when he has the ball in his hands. Devin Singletary, another guy. Like I said, I'm not going to bash him about the fumble. I would have liked to have that one back, Devin. But, unfortunately, that's part of the game. You had an efficient game, man. You was rushing the ball hard. And for what I'm seeing, that he actually led the league in most missed tackles as far as a running back. It might have been players, period, but I know as far as running back, he created 12 missed tackles, potential tackles anyway. So to see that, that's very promising as far as our offense goes, and to have this new O-line, I'm seeing Daniel Jones start to get his confidence up. He's moving in the right direction as far as you see he's starting to go through his reads. So that's very promising as far as our offense. I think we got hope. I think we're playing Cleveland next week, so we'll get to see if he can duplicate that success, because a lot of people saying, well, it really doesn't mean anything because he always plays good against Washington. But from what I've seen, I think he did very, very well in this game, especially this being his second game coming off a major injury in his ACL tear last year. So as far as the offense, there's a lot of hope, a lot of promise, and I think we actually have more chances to win games than people think we do. Now, moving on to the defense. The defense, man, this is where I feel like the problem was with this game. Obviously, if y'all know, Shane Bowen's our new defensive coordinator, and this was just his second game as the coordinator. And I want to bash him. I want to say, look, bro, that's not good enough. But I also realize how football works. Offenses tend to start off a lot hotter than the defenses do. Excuse me. I think I said that backwards. But however, like, our defense is learning a new terminology as far as getting stuff down packed. Now, what I will say, I seen more promise in the defense in week 2 versus week 1, where we didn't get any sacks whatsoever. It just looked like we were terrible all around. There was nothing we could do. This game, however, I seen promise because our pass rush was able to still get 5 sacks on a very, very athletic Jayden Daniels. There was some times where he should have been sacked a little bit more, but nonetheless, 5 sacks is still 5 sacks. And the thing with Shane Bowen's defense, I'm actually more prepared to be like, okay, we'll know what we're looking like for sure by week 4. Like I said, it takes a little bit of time to get the new terminology down, and things of that sort. But as far as how it looked against the Commanders, we couldn't stop the pass or the run. Let's just be real. I'm going to be honest. Jayden Daniels was 23 of 29 with 226 passing yards. Brian Robinson, who was on my fantasy team, which I'm glad he balled because we still had a chance to win. He ran the ball 17 times for 133 yards. No touchdown, but he still averaged 7.8 yards a carry. And you're not going to win games when your running back's going. When the running back is going wild against your defense like that. Jayden Daniels also ran the ball 10 times for 44 yards and an average of 4.4 yards a carry. Austin Eckler also rushed the ball 8 times for 38 yards and an average of 4.8 yards a carry. Now, none of them scored touchdowns, and that's another positive from our defense. Yeah, we was getting shredded, but our red zone defense stood up the most when it came time. Unfortunately, they just needed field goals in this game. Hopefully, we signed a kicker earlier this week where we can balance that out, where we can have a kicker to get those points. But that kicker did enough to win them the game. But we got to stop that. We can't let them run the ball down our throats. We can't let them pick us apart throwing the ball either. So that's one thing that I feel like is the biggest bugaboo. But going forward in the future, we can't act like 5 sacks isn't 5 sacks. And that's going to be promising because not everybody's going to be as athletic as Jayden Daniels is. So the quarterbacks that's normally pocket passers, we're going to start getting more sacks. Hopefully our pass coverage defense can take form and start doing better as far as their coverage. One thing I would like to see, and I don't know if it's just because we recently signed him again, I would like to see Adoree' out there a little bit more as our number 2 cornerback. Our second cornerback outside of Deonte Banks is very questionable and suspect, to say the least. And I really didn't like what I seen from my pass coverage defense. But it is what it is. Hopefully in week 3, we can look a little bit better as far as how our defense look. Now, let me see if I got anything else I want to say on that topic. The time of possession. That's what it is. They had a time of possession of 37 minutes and 32 seconds, bro. You're not going to win a game if your team is out there on defense for 37 minutes and 32 seconds. But we can't even blame that on the offense because our offense was actually moving the ball this game. Y'all have to get off the field on third down conversion. There was way too many times where we had third and long, and somehow we let these boys convert the game. The first downs, it was crazy to me to see the level of plays we should have been off the field, but just couldn't get off the field. So I'm hoping going forward we'll be better in that department. But until then, we just got to wait out and see how it looks. Now, I got a new segment that I want to bring in. Shout out to my cousin A-Blaze Jackson. He's the one responsible for making the beats for my intro video. If y'all hear the beats that come on, it's A-Blaze, A-Blaze the architect, A-Blaze Jackson. Y'all can check his beats out, all our kind of music, from music to art, all that are artists on there. If you go to ablazejackson.com, y'all take a look at that. But he gave me an idea because I've been calling people Benzino dogs and whatever. He said, cuz you should come up with an idea for your dogs of the week and your Benzino dogs of the week. And I said, that's brilliant, my boy. So this is going to be the first ever. So if y'all watching this video, y'all actually checking out the first ever dogs of the week, Benzino dogs of the week. So we're going to start off with the dogs of the week. I'm going to start off with my boy Daniel Jones. Like I gave y'all his numbers earlier, being 16 and 28 for 178 with 2 touchdowns and 32 yards rushing. Now, like I said, it ain't flashy, but I'm throwing in the potential of those 4 touchdowns. And had he had more time, because like I said, they had 37 minutes on offense as far as Washington goes, he made the most of his opportunities. And like I said, those other potential touchdowns he could have had, it would have been a great game for him. Also, I want to give a dog of the week to Devin Singletary, which he had that fumble, but he still had an average of 5.9 yards a carry. And all the missed tackles he had, and he had 95 yards by the end of the game. Malik Neighbors had 10 catches for 127 yards and a touchdown. Like I said in the video that I made this past week at the post-game video, yeah, we hate that drop that he had on that crucial 4th down, but nonetheless, the kid was out there balling. I also want to shout out Deonte Banks for being locked down. I had made a video also saying, can he lock down Terry McLaurin? Terry McLaurin, when he came out the draft, was one of my favorite receivers, and I know how much of a dog he was. But Deonte Banks had them clamps on him. I'm not gonna lie. He allowed him to have 6 catches for 22 yards and an average of 3.7 yards per catch, which is phenomenal for a guy that's like Terry McLaurin. Also, I want to shout out our rookie Drew Phillips. He had 12 tackles, a sack, and 2 tackles for loss in the backfield. I see that dog in him, and that's promise to see. Honorable mentions, I want to say our pass rush. Now, they didn't make the list as dogs. These right now, they more in puppy chow mode, but I can't knock them. 5 sacks is 5 sacks. Only reason they didn't make the list is because they had way more opportunities for sacks that they should have had, where they had tackles in the backfield that could have really changed the complexity of the game. So you can't really put them on that list and say they was dogs, but they definitely had a little bit of puppy chow in them. Now, moving on to the Benzino dogs of the week. man, our entire defense, outside of the players I just said, and Drew Phillips, uh, Dante Banks, and our pass rush, our defense was just not good enough. We had a whole kennel of Benzino dogs, bro, and they have to get better if we're gonna have a good season. If we're gonna be able to make a run at the playoffs, they have to make the plays that are presented to them. Those third down conversion not penalties, but the third down conversions that they was allowing to give up. We can't have that, bro. There was too many times where we also had opportunities. We didn't really capitalize on all the penalties that Washington had. They had a lot of penalties, and most times good teams are gonna win when teams are doing stuff to shoot them in their foot. I guess they on some Plaxico Burress stuff, but it is what it is. And my second Benzino dogs is our 2 and 3 wide receivers. Like I said, I can't really bash them too much. I can't say that they weren't getting open, but if I'm looking at the stat line in itself, I would say that it's not good enough. Y'all got to step up. Y'all got to have more than 33 yards, 18 yards, Darius Slate, and Wandale. Now, Wandale, you had your touchdown, but I want to see y'all active because I know y'all got it in y'all, man. So y'all got to step up big time for us and help make this offense more explosive than it's been. Also, Jalen Hyatt, he ain't on the list of Benzino dogs, but he really didn't get to play, and I'd like to see him get involved a little bit more too. So that's my breakdown and my review of how I feel, why there's promise for the New York Giants going forward. I really think there's a lot of hope for us. Like I said, our O-lines played lights out. They did their job, and there's a lot to look forward to in this young core that we had, man. We've taken on the Cleveland Cavaliers in the next game this Sunday coming up, 12 p.m. Central Time, and I'm going to be there. And I hope y'all there. I hope y'all will be there with me to cheer our team on, man. If y'all like this episode of New York City, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, peace.